What's up guys, KawasakiBrad here, and today we're going to go over how to change the throttle tube on your bike. Now if you don't have this exact same bike, don't worry about it. As long as it's a twist grip throttle, they all work the same way. So whether you broke yours in a crash, or if you're upgrading like we are today to a quick turn throttle, stay tuned, let's get this party started. First thing we want to do is pull that rubber boot back that's protecting the cable, keeping all the grip from getting in there. And then we're going to loosen off that adjuster so we can give the cable as much slack as we possibly can. So we're going to turn that all the way in. And then we're going to completely remove the screws holding the housing together, top and bottom. Once those screws are out, we can peel the housing apart. Comes apart in two pieces. Not really a lot of moving parts in there, so it's not like as soon as it comes apart there's going to be springs flying all over your shop. Be careful, take your time. Sometimes it helps to rotate the grip to get it to pry open a little bit, and away you go. Now we got the housing apart, we're going to slide the throttle tube off the end, taking that little cable end out of it as we go. And here's a little close-up of how that cable end slips in and out of there. And as we can see, everything's clean underneath there. If it is not clean, clean it before you put your new throttle tube on. So we've got the complete reverse order. We're putting that little cable end in that little socket like we saw the close-up of earlier, and just kind of thread it through, rotate it in there, make sure the cable seats in its little channel up at the top. You can see by my index finger. Put the two halves of the housing back together. Now notice that I'm not using any lube on any of this. Some people like to use graphite powder. If that makes you happy, fill your boots. I keep mine completely clean, completely dry, and that seems to work best in the long run. Hand thread the screws in for the first little bit. These ones are really easy to cross thread, so it's important that you get them started the right way. It's easy to forget to leave yourself some end play too. That throttle tube cannot be sucked up tight on the outside edge of the bar. It needs to have about a 1/16 of an inch to slide back and forth on. It's just another place for it to bind up, and it'll keep it from running smoothly and snapping back like that. If your throttle does not snap back like that, it's because, you know, the cable isn't aligned properly, or something didn't go together properly, or you don't have that end play in there. Now we're going to unthread that cable adjuster to take away the slack right up until the point where there's the smallest amount of play. You should just be able to feel the slightest little bit, you know, maybe 1/8 of an inch of cable slack before it starts to actually pull the cable. And then tighten up the lock nut and you're good to go. Even better than new. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is, why? Why do I need a quick turn throttle for my bike? And the answer is, we have a whopping 8 horsepower here. So we don't necessarily need the gradual roll on like we would on something like that. This way, it's pretty much on or off. You can drive it with a switch, and this helps out a lot. In case you're wondering what the difference is between a regular throttle and a quick turn throttle, your regular throttle usually has about a 1/4 turn to it. And our quick turn throttle, we're cutting that down by about 1/3. So about 30% less throw from 0 to wide open throttle.